Hey YouTubers, welcome to Bomber Fett Broadcasting. Today we're going to be making some al pastor tacos. So let's get started right away, shall we? First thing we want to do is put on our apron so we don't get all dirty. And then the next thing we want to do is get our chilies that we need, because this is going to take a minute. So what we want is the guajillo chilies and the ancho chilies. I happen to have some right here. But in order to do these, we need to boil them first because they're dried. So let me get a pot out. We'll do a smaller pot so that it doesn't take quite as long. We don't want to boil the crap out of them. We want to take all the flavor out of them. What we want to do is just get them soft. So that we can cut them and de-seed them. So we're going to take one ancho chili and 3 guajillo chilies. Actually, let's do 2 ancho chilies. I'm feeling like we want 2. Get the guajillos in there. All right. So while that's boiling, we'll put the rest of the stuff together. I'm going to go ahead and put it together in the blender because we're going to have to blend it all anyway. Okay, so we're going to put everything here in the blender. Let the chilies do their thing. We're going to need some oregano, and I picked up the Mexican oregano. I don't know if it's any different than regular oregano or not, but since we are making tacos, I figured I'd go with Mexican oregano. It's made by Fiesta. And most of these are made by Fiesta. I get these at H-E-B. These dried chilies were by Fiesta. Most of the stuff I end up getting is made by Fiesta just because that's what H-E-B normally has. We are going to need some comino or cumin, however you want to say it. It's both the same stuff, just some of them are marked comino, some of them are marked cumin. We're going to need some thyme. We're going to need some salt and pepper. And we will need orange juice, and we will need pineapple juice. We need 1 cup of pineapple juice. Okay, there's 1 cup. Then we're going to need orange juice. And we'll need about 3/4 of a cup of orange juice. So the citrus plays a big role in making this. It kind of helps break down the meat, makes it nice and tender, and it gives it a great flavor too. Okay, so next we need 1 tablespoon of oregano. I'm just going to do this over here. That way if I spill any, it all goes inside. It's not wasted. I'm going to do a heaping tablespoon just because this is dried oregano, and I've had it for a while. It has a tendency to kind of lose its flavor after a while. And then we're going to need 1 tablespoon of thyme. And then we're going to need 1 tablespoon of pepper. These cute little salt and pepper containers here. My wife picked these up from somewhere. And then we're going to need 1/2 tablespoon of salt. Poke those peppers down a little bit. They're down in the water. Now that that's come to a boil, we can just kind of turn that off. Just let them steep for a minute. Like I said, we just want to get them soft. We don't want to cook the flavor out of them. 1 tablespoon of cumin. And cumin is kind of a staple in a lot of Mexican dishes. It says 1 to 2 tablespoons of paprika. Let's go with a little over 1. And then we need half of an onion. Get our cutting board out. Okay, so grab half the onion. And we really don't need to worry about dicing it up too much because we're going to stick it all in the blender. So we'll just kind of cube it and stick it in. All right, I'm going to take the guajillo chilies and the ancho chilies. They are still very, very hot. So I'm going to pull them out. They seem to be pretty soft now. I'm going to pull them out and start letting them cool a little bit. But what we want to do is we want to clean and seed them. So basically all I'm going to do is just split it open. I'm just going to scoop it out onto a little plate here, or my little paper towel. We're going to blend all of it up. 2 to 4 hours, you want the meat to sit. So. And then our last pepper. Okay, now that is all of the ingredients that we need in here. And then we're going to let this blend for a while to make sure that it becomes a nice puree. So when all that is done, then you should end up with this beautiful red colored sauce to put on the meat. God, it smells so good. You know what? Just for grins and giggles, let's put a little bit of lime juice in there too. A little bit more. There we go. We don't want to overpower it with the lime juice, but lime always has a really good combination with cumin. Now I've had the meat in the freezer. You don't want to freeze it obviously, but we want it to be kind of firm because we want to make thin cuts, right? So if you get it really cold, it helps a lot. And this is 8 pounds of pork, center cut pork loin. You can use shoulder, you could use rump roast. This is my first time trying with pork loin, so I want to see how it goes. Obviously I only need about half of this. We're only going to make 4 pounds. So I'm just going to cut it in half. And we want to cut nice thin pieces, probably about this thick, which 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch, somewhere around there. All right, so now we have the meat all cut. Let me wash my hands up real quick. So I'm about to be touching other stuff in the kitchen. That's my lovely assistant, Coco. Okay, we got us a gallon Ziploc bag here. Now you could put this all in a bowl or something if you want, but since it's going to be sitting for a long period of time, trying to marinate, we want the meat to stay completely submerged in the marinade the whole time. Get all of that meat completely coated. And if you're using a Ziploc, make sure that you're being careful not to bust it open because there is a lot of weight in there. And we take as much air out of there as we can without making a huge mess. so that all that marinade stays all over the meat. Then we're going to put it in the refrigerator. For us, we're going to do about 2 hours. I'd like to do longer than that if I can. 4 hours is optimal, but if you do, anywhere between 2 to 4, you should be all right. And then when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to work on the tomatillo sauce that we're going to make for it, and start putting this on the spit and getting it ready for the grill. Already I have about 1/4 of an onion. I want the onion nice and finely chopped. There it is. All right, so this is a pretty handy little deal. I'm talking on Amazon. It's better than having to set up a whole bunch of like big stuff that you gotta clean up. It's just, we will put our onion in here. Yes, 1 tablespoon of garlic, which I have over here. Now I'm just using this minced garlic. I was actually supposed to put garlic in the marinade, and I completely forgot. Set it off to the side and forgot all about it. So I've got 1 little tablespoon of minced garlic there. And then we want to salt and pepper to taste. And I don't know what the taste is going to be just yet, so we're just going to put a little bit of pepper in here. Like 2 teaspoons there. And then we'll put 2 teaspoons of salt. And that should give us a good starting point. We have tomatillos here. I'm going to use 4. They're basically like little green tomato looking things, but they do have this leafy covering on them. I'm going to take that leafy covering off, because what we're going to do is when we put the meat on, we're going to put the tomatillos on as well. I'm going to leave all these whole, and I'm going to get everything nice and roasted. Now I'm going to take 2 peppers, and we're going to roast them as well. These are jalapeno peppers. It says 3 tablespoons of pineapple juice. I may put a little bit more than that. We'll start out with 3 tablespoons to see how that works. And then, once we get it all together, if we want to add more pineapple juice, we can. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. 3 tablespoons of pineapple juice. And then that is ready. Now I'll grab the meat while I'm over here. And here's our meat, nice and marinated. Then we'll get out the spit that I'm going to use. My wife got me this for a present, and this is by Barbecue Hack. They have a website, and I think it's barbecuehack.com. They make really, really cool barbecue utensils. So they got this guy, and then she also got me this, which is a really neat spatula. This thing has got some weight to it now. It's really heavy duty. It's also by Barbecue Hack. It's got a nice big round spot. You can do your smash burgers if you want to. I can actually flip over 2 steaks at a time with this thing pretty easily. The big, nice ribeye steaks. So they make really good stuff. If you're looking for things for your grill, they have what you need. Okay, I'm back. I had to go check and make sure that this will fit. So this is the base plate to it. Again, they call this the skewer hack. And as you can see, they even have a nice picture on there. Looks like they're making some al pastor on there as well. It says for your grill or your oven. Perfect for chicken shawarma, kebabs, tacos al pastor, and grillos, and even more. So it comes with 3 different size spits. I was checking to make sure that the top one, the biggest one, fits. It really doesn't. The grill closes just almost. But I think I'm going to use it anyway, just because of the amount of meat that we have. And I really want it to all fit on there. So I think it'll be okay. We'll see. So we're also going to need pineapples. You can use fresh pineapples or canned pineapples. I'm going canned pineapples today just because of time. So if you get a fresh pineapple, then obviously you will need to peel it and you will need to core it. So we're gonna just start taking the meat and just laying it on there. That's all we do. We just stab it onto the spit. I want to get a couple of pieces down, and you're gonna get some of these pieces that come out with a whole bunch of the marinade still in there. Just leave the marinade on there. And it's just gonna give it that much more flavor. So we got, let's see, got a few pieces down here. And then what we'll do is we'll take some pineapple. I'm only using this pineapple for this, so I don't care if I get my fingers in there. This is raw pork, so you want to be mindful of that. Don't go handling a bunch of stuff after you've been handling this meat until you wash your hands. That's about all we're going to use. The rest of this is little bitty pieces. Then we'll top it with one more pineapple. There we go. Boom. Bob's your uncle. Okay, so here we are outside. This is the grill. I have all of it on right now just to kind of preheat everything a little bit. But let's go ahead and I'm going to leave this one on. We had a little bit of weather last night, so it's kind of windy. Hopefully that doesn't cause too big of an issue. I'm going to turn these two burners off. I'm going to turn this one on low, and then this one I'm going to leave on high. The wind is actually blowing across this direction, so what I'm hoping for is that the heat will just kind of come across, and we're just kind of almost like a convection oven a little bit, because the lid's going to be up just a little bit. I'm going to take the vegetables and set them on here, and then every 5 minutes I'll just come out here and I'll turn it a quarter turn. Obviously, once I get this started, I'm not going to do it with my hands. I'll use my tongs or something to do that. But we'll just do it every 5 minutes. Heat will be coming from here, going across. And we just let that roll. Okay, so it's been a few minutes. The temperature wasn't getting up quite high enough. I'm sure a lot of that has to do with all the wind that we have right now with this front going through. Also with the top being open a little bit. So it was staying down around 225. I wanted to get a little bit higher. So I turned the second burner up just a little bit, just right about half. So that's got us now sitting at about 300, a little over 300. So that's actually pretty good. So we'll go with that for now. And then you can see here, it is actually starting to cook already. Anyway, so but like I said, we're just going to turn it a quarter turn. We got my handy dandy little finger protectors to keep me from burning myself. Put the tomatillo back over here, put the jalapeno back over there, and let it continue rolling. Then I'll be back in a few minutes to keep on doing that. And I probably will not bore y'all with watching that over and over again. All right, guys, real quick. It's been, shoot, I don't know. It's been a little while. 45 minutes to an hour maybe. Obviously the meat's not ready yet, but I forgot to mention earlier that one of the things that I do to help add a little bit of flavor is I have an infrared grill, so I have the plate underneath. So I'll take a little bit of oak and I'll put oak in between there since I'm not cooking over here. And then of course, obviously when I'm done, I got to clean up the grill anyway. So that gives a little bit of smokiness happening there. It's been about an hour and a half. So as you can see, the veggies are getting nice and stewed. They're actually starting to leak a little bit, so it's a good telltale sign that they need to come off. And then you can see how the meat is starting to crisp up and get nice and done and pretty. Isn't that sexy? Oh my gosh. I just want to eat it right now. Okay, so now we have the vegetables in here, and we are going to just very simply take off the stems. And then we'll take the seeds out of the jalapenos, out of one of them. We want to have a little bit of spice to it, but not too much. And once it's already roasted like this, the stems usually come off pretty easy. I say that it's still really hot and it's hard for me to hang on to. I'm just going to do this over the top of here. Do some. From being a little too hot. And this one, cut the end off. open it up and take a little bit of the seeds out. Oh. Because we want to have a little bit of bite. Mix that we made. This is our onions, salt, pepper, garlic, and pineapple juice. We'll put this in. All right, let's see what it looks like here. It looks kind of like salsa. You grab a chip and we'll try it out. Oh, that's gross. That's disgusting. Do not make that. Just kidding. That's actually really, really good. I just wanted to say that because you never see that on a cooking show. This is kind of what we came out with here. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is I just pulled it off. So I'm going to wrap it. I just want to kind of tin it. I don't want to completely seal it up. That's going to allow the internal temperature to continue rising. And then we'll let it sit for a little bit. We'll let it rest for about 20 minutes or so. And then we'll come back and start carving on it. All right, guys, so the meat has been resting now for 20 minutes. And then we're going to take a look at it. Nice thin slices here. Got a little of that pineapple exposed. All right, so this is the end product. Look at that. Just awesome. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. When you're done, you have to cheers your meat and go from there. I would like to also cheers you for watching. Thank you for sticking until the end. And cheers my live studio audience. Yes. Yay! Cooking with Bomer is filmed in front of a live studio audience. They've been very quiet and very respectful this entire time, except for the one time that Coco came running through the scene. But other than that, it's been great. So, thank you very much. If you liked, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much.